Islander fans. Welcome to season 6, episode 5 here on this lovely Wednesday evening. I normally don't do this, but it's pennant season. Let's go Mets. And Gary's always got his hat on as he should. Gary, how are you, my friend? Where the hell are you, by the way?
I am in a town called Keller, Texas, which is about 30 minutes away from downtown Dallas. And
Oh,
I've been here for the last 6 days. I'm actually flying home tomorrow night, hanging out with my family, and it's been a great week away. Uh, even with the game on Saturday at the American Airlines Center, but everything's good, Paul. Thanks. Yeah,
good.
it's great.
Nice.
Good time.
Good to see you. So, no, Joe is still under the weather. He will be joining us soon. But guys, this one's for you. This is going to be your show. This is Isles Talk therapy session here in Water Cooler Talk for a little while. I don't know if we're going to go for the full hour because it is the Mets here. So, for all you Yankee fans, welcome. Mets fans, I don't blame you. We'll probably, you'll see us later at some point. You've got better things to watch. So, having said that, Gary, you're up. Venting session time. What's on your mind, Gary?
All right. I just gotta find my screen here again. I unfortunately lost it, but I'll have to go look for it in a minute. I was, as I said, I was at the game in Dallas on Saturday night, and I really thought when I was at the game, because of obviously all the pomp and circumstance of a home opener for the Stars, as well as the Islanders playing on Thursday night and losing in overtime to Utah. I thought this team was going to have a struggle. I really did, because I really think that Dallas and Edmonton, come the end of May, are going to be battling to see who represents the Western Conference. I still feel that in my heart. That's not changing after 1 week of hockey. Okay. Sure. After Thursday night's game in Utah, again, people were going off the deep end, totally losing their minds. Okay. You play 5,000 minutes plus in an NHL season, regular season. Figure 60 times 82 is about 4,900, plus whatever overtime, plus whatever shootouts. You're approaching 5,000 minutes. Okay. 60% of that, it's 1.3%. Okay. You could play bad in 4 or 5 or 6 games in the first 20 and still hang yourself okay if you make up for it. People were writing the team off day one. I know some people are sarcastic and are full of it, but I know when people are really venting and when they're joking. And I have a good buddy, Michael Moisa. And again, I know his family all my life. And I love him. I love him like a little brother, but he's got to come off the ledge. And I'm trying to find the tweet right now.
And it's not just Michael.
No, it's not. I'm using him as an example.
Nitpicking. Again, a lot of it's Isles Twitter or Isles X. But
now this is after game 3. Okay, this is after the Colorado win. Okay. The tweet says, Barzal's been fine, but he has not looked like the superstar I thought he'd look like with Duclair and Horvat. Both his line mates could be better, but it looks more like an average first line than it does anything special. I mean, guys, come on. Has anybody looked at the Edmonton Oilers? Has anybody noticed how many goals Connor McJesus has right now? 0. He looks, right. He's got 3 assists.
Gustafson has more goals than Connor McDavid.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You don't judge your entire season on 2% of your year. Okay? You've come out of 3 games, 1-1-1. Considering Jersey's played 5 games already, and the Rangers have played 4, you're fine. Okay? You don't worry. Again, as Paul and I have been saying for ad nauseum, you don't start counting until at least 15, maybe 20. And this year, definitely it's going to be 20 as opposed to,
Right.
15 or 10 like we've done. They're fine. I think the Dallas game, I honestly felt we could have won that game. And it's not because of defensive miscues. They put shots on Ottinger. Ottinger was brilliant. He was great from side to side. He had great luck getting the puck when guys were blocking in front of the net. Because I especially had seats behind the net. And he was brilliant. You can't knock the players for not getting points because the goaltender was well. And again, Varley, I think, played a decent game. He really only let one bad goal go in that I don't think anybody would have stopped. Very, very few goalies would have stopped the one. One of them, yeah, could have, but that's all right. He played a strong game. They're playing fine. They played fine on Thursday with Utah. Utah got some breaks, and there are some things still to fix. Defensively, there's still some things to tweak. Tommy Abelin's only been with them for 3 weeks. Okay. You're not going to turn him into a Stanley Cup defense in a month. So you take the little victories and move on. You're playing teams in the next week that are winnable games. Montreal, Detroit, you've got teams you can beat. But stop for the love of God. Stop going crazy. Stop taking one game, one negative event as if the season is over. Okay. We all were bitching and moaning and saying they're going to be out of the playoffs. And what did we do? What did we do last year in April, boys and girls? You remember? You remember how good we did? Things change on a dime in the national.
They made it. Yeah.
We all know that things can change in a snap. So my rant's over, but am I totally thrilled? No, because there's things that can be better. But are they playing bad hockey? Absolutely not. They're getting contributions. I like what I'm seeing. And just because Pierre Engvall got 1 goal in Bridgeport doesn't mean he deserves to be back up here. He needs to have a 15 to 20 game thing down there and work on his game. Is he capable of bringing it back? Absolutely. We saw stretches in Toronto where he was one of the best guys outside of Matthews and Marner. So he's got the ability to do it. He could definitely be strong out there, but he did not do what he was supposed to do to make this club. Oliver Wahlstrom, yes, he's played 10 minutes, but I like the way he's played. The shot's there. It's going to be there, but he's playing the 200-foot game that he's expected to play as a 4th line player. I don't think he's been great. I don't think he's been bad. He's not disappointed me. There's very few things that have disappointed me so far in this team. And that's what you got to look at. You can't look at it like this is game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals and they lost. You got to remember, you got to build. And I think there's a plan. As we've said all along, Paul can say it 100 times that what's going to happen. And we feel it. They played a Colorado Avalanche team, as Joe just said, that were short, but you take advantage of a team like that, and they did the job. You still got solid players out there and a decent goaltender. They took it to them, and they did what they have to do. They're playing a St. Louis team tomorrow night who just gave up a goal to a goalie, and they look pretty weak. So you can take them. You come back from that, you're 2-1-1, you're in decent shape. So guys, just take it slow. Don't worry about it. Things will be fine. All you, Paul.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I believe me, I was a lot crazier, I would say 24 hours ago than I am now.
Okay.
But I really think that you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't judge the season of 82 based on 3. Yes. Could the loss in Dallas be the one win that they should have won that may have put him into a playoff spot or a 3rd place? Maybe. Doubt it, but maybe. But the point is, don't judge everything now because teams are still trying to find themselves, find their identities. Edmonton hasn't found their identity. Nashville's come out of the gate 0-3. Teams that you expected to be up in the top are in the bottom. Okay? Don't base it now. Give it time. Give it our Paul Kreischer 15-game litmus test. And
Minimum.
see that. And that doesn't mean they're out either. Remember
No.
that. But you take the positives. You take the fact that despite being shut out in Dallas, they're getting goal scoring. Okay? You got 10 goals in the other 2 games. 5 goals a game.
Right.
You want that pace? Do you want that pace?
Oh, yeah.
You got Sorokin back. Sorokin played a decent game on Tuesday night. He's probably gonna Monday night. He's probably gonna play tomorrow night, and I think he'll do the job. So we're going to be comfortable in that. So we get the defense fixed a little bit. The power play killed 2 for 2 on Monday. Things are working into place. You just have to relax the tone. Let the guys stir the pot. Let that little crock pot simmer a little bit. Don't take it out too early. Let it simmer.
Don't use a pressure cooker.
Yeah, don't use a pressure cooker. That's exactly right. Thanks, Claire.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use a pressure cooker. Let it simmer.
I will give you credit, though, my friend. You did say the Islanders were going to go 1-1-1 this past week. I had the Islanders going 2-1.
Yeah, I didn't want to, stomp on you with that, but
No,
yes, I did say 1-1-1.
yeah.
And remember,
went
this is the guy
1-1.
this is the guy that was 20 minutes away from predicting everything. So come on board the
Well,
Gary
look,
train.
There's something here that I forgot, and it's shame on me specifically. And really any older Islander fan at this point, boys and girls. Gary, are you aware of the Islanders' season openers, their record?
Not, I don't have it
Let me help you with that.
lodged in memory. It's not bad.
14, 26, and 12.
Yeah.
14,
Okay. That's right.
26.
No,
and
you
12.
know what? You know what, Paul? Seriously, I'm looking at the Met hat. I'm thinking the Mets. I know the Mets lost the first 6 and they've gone like 41 and 10 cents or something like that.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The Islander season. Yes, you're right.
Home openers 3, 6, and 4.
3 what?
Okay. 3, 6, and 4. Islanders home openers when they start
When they start the year at home. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Because Bill Torrey always used to start the Islanders every year on West Coast.
And
We'd always play in California for the first week.
The away record, boys and girls, is 11, 20, and 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna go again. It didn't count, but who did we play the game before?
Mm-hmm.
The Rangers.
Yeah. Exactly right.
Okay. And I had no life today. Absolutely none. I went back the last 5 years. Okay. Before last April, the Islanders' record were 8, 8, and 5 against the next team after the Rangers. And they even played the Rangers back to back. So I had to include that as well. 8, 8, and 5. They're technically now, after April, 10, 8, and 5 because they beat the Utica Devils and the Laval team, which was Montreal's minor league team. So they're technically now 10 and 8.
I think we're talking about Utah here, Robin.
We are talking about Utah. And that's the other thing, boys and girls. If you watched the first episode or 2 of Isles Talk this season, I already talked up Utah. I told you watch out for them. They're going to be better. Here they are. This is exactly what I was expecting them to do. They beat the Rangers. I didn't expect them to beat the Devils. You're going up against 3 good teams in a row. There had to be signs of struggle there. Utah was, in fact, and will be, in fact, a threat for the rest of this season.
No doubt about it.
To a good young team right now who want to prove people that they are here to stay for a while. Not making excuses here, But Islanders' home opening record, it kind of speaks for itself after you've been around for 50 years. Okay. The other question here, little sarcasm as well. When was the last time we talked about finding an identity for the fourth line? 35 years ago? I mean, that's how long Martin, Clutterbuck, and Zizekas have been around. You're asking the fourth line of Zizekas, McLean, and Wallstrom to come together after 2 games, 3 games?
Yeah, there's some. I mean, you do have chemistry between McLean and Zizekas because they did play together for a good period of time.
You
But
do.
you want what you want on that fourth line at this point. You're not going to have the Martin Clutterbuck pedigree going
No.
on, but you
No.
want the ability to be at times ferocious, which I think at times they were. I like the fact that at times that Oliver Wahlstrom was getting in the lanes and blocking shots and getting on people in the corners, and not, if there was third man high, there were times where he would not come in and take back the defensive spot, and he's done that. I saw it on at least 2 occasions on opening night. So that's where I say that you want instant gratification.
Right.
Instant gratification is not going to come, but you want progression, just like Matt did. Just like Matt did when he had to learn, when Barry Trotz told him, you're playing a 200-foot game or you're not playing. He had to learn it. He had to get moving on that and make it part of his game. And he's made it a part of his game, as well as keeping his offensive prowess.
Right.
So that's what you want to see out of Wahlstrom. Some guys can do it quick. Some guys, it takes a while. And we know how talented Oliver is. And believe me, Paul and I are the 2 people that really want to see this kid succeed. We don't like picking on him. We don't like putting him down. But he's doing right now what he needs to do. The goals will come.
I would like to see him at some point get put on the second power play, but I know Simon Holmstrom is there.
Yeah.
But again, for me, I got to see Simon just shoot that puck. I've been, Gary, what now? 7 years on this kid? Not 7. Close. 5 years.
And
5 years on this kid.
I like that he's now at 215 pounds.
Yes.
He's gotten stronger. He's not getting pushed around in the corners anymore, but he's got to shoot. He's got to get that fear out and get that puck going.
Yeah. I don't care where it goes. He just shoot that puck. Get it out of your system. And I agree with Jim wholeheartedly here. Wally's got to be in control of his hits. But again, I think that's going to be a little bit more to do with coaching, allowing Wahlstrom time to develop into that fourth line, but putting Wahlstrom on that power play will help the Islanders.
Plus, I think the fact that right now he's got that slot. He's not going to be up and down, in and out of the lineup. And having a guy like Casey is now that he's the older gentleman of that line, if you will, he's going to take the responsibility of melding these guys.
Yes.
And if there's ever a guy watching him off the ice and on the ice that you'd want to be a mentor-like player and tell that kid what he needs to do, it's Casey Zizekas by question.
Right.
I mean, to me, he's going to be an NHL coach when he's done. There's no question about it. I think he's going to have a great career outside of the game when his playing days are over. So what a good person, what a good role model to work on. And if he's going to do that every single game, Control Z, baby. When he's going to do that every single game, I think that's going to be worth it.
Beautiful. Just a quick update, boys and girls, on the Bridgeport game. Bridgeport is up 2-1 over Hershey. Goals by Alex Jeffries and Chris Terry. with another assist by Alex Jeffries. So Alex Jeffries now has 3 points in 2 games. You're welcome.
Oh, I'll have to find you something too. Just give me a second. Just talk on something. I'll get it
Sure.
for you.
Romanov, but came back across the 6. Yeah, and again, I still think that's still the system. I think the players are still getting to know that system a little bit more. And I again, it's going to take some time
Hmm?
to get that all going.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw this, Paul, but
Go ahead.
today's the 16th. Yeah, today. So at 7 o'clock this morning, this woman by the name of Rachel Dory, I guess, who's like a data manipulation and whatever for ESPN,
Yes, hockey
NHL
news, if I'm
ranked
not mistaken.
yeah,
Sure,
she ranked the pipelines and stuff.
sure.
And we didn't get ranked 32nd, but we got ranked 26th.
Okay,
But I got to read you what she said.
go ahead.
And this is gonna put Paul's hair standing up.
I'm wearing a hat.
The Islanders prospect pipeline lacked an impact player until Cole Eisman fell into their laps. And I know we weren't happy with that initially, but they're projecting to be a real scoring threat, something the system has lacked for years. And they talk about Jesse Pulkkinen to be a top all 4 situations defender. Callie Adelius and Danny Nelson project to be reliable middle lineup players. William Dufour, Matthew Maggio, and Alex Jeffries are potential depth options, but likely to be bubble players. Yes. I'll fix that later. The Islanders prospect pool improved, but they'll need to play meaningful roles in the near future. What do you think of that?
Bubble players, yet meaningful roles. I
Bubble
mean,
players.
yeah. It's a contradiction. You can't be a bubble player and have a meaningful role.
Yeah, I know.
Weird.
Yeah. But a few things I've heard from Bridgeport from when they left and started their camp, that they said that Jeffries is putting on another gear. So you've been talking about it for the better part of 3 years.
Yep.
And I've gotten, especially the last year, I got to notice a little more, and I really like what I see. And that's why I say, that's why, and this is not buttering your bagel here, but
Mm.
I get when you're sitting there telling me that these guys are just not getting looked at the way they should, and that they're gonna prove themselves at another level. I listen,
Right.
and I really think that these kids can be destined for something if they're being molded the right way, and I
Yeah.
think they are. I think the Thompson era really didn't help some guys; it
No.
stunted some guys. But I
Right.
think the new staff down there is doing the right thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, Andy, what did you mean by can't see you agree with that? Maybe she's thinking they're going to be trade bait. Well, that
It could be.
that could be. That could be. Um, the Islanders have to make one hell of a run, but at the same time, what Lou has done over the last 3 or 4 years is that he's drafting players who have a decent floor. He doesn't necessarily know what their ceiling could be, but he's drafting players who have a better chance of making it to the NHL than some of the others. And what I mean by the NHL, it could be anywhere from 5 games to 25 games to 40 games to who knows. But, maybe they get called up at some point in their careers and they stay or they're back and forth. They're still playing NHL games. There's a certain basement level to them, if you know what I mean, a certain floor. Their ceiling may not be as high, but that really does depend on the player and their attitude when they get to the American Hockey League.
And I
Patrick
really
Williams
think,
and I have absolutely talked about that before. Go ahead.
and I really think the addition of Terry back to Bridgeport is going to mean so much for these young kids, because you saw a little bit with Dufour working with him when he first came up.
Yeah.
And I think he missed a little bit of that last year. I
agree.
really think he has a tremendous influence on those kids. And
I agree.
Bardot is the captain. Cole Bardot is the
Yes.
captain. I think will
Yes.
also be a big help. So that's what you're hoping for. You've got a solid leadership core down there that will help these guys. Again, doing what Casey's going to hopefully do for Oliver Wallstrom, Bardot and Kelly are going to, I mean, Terry are going to do with Maggio and Jeffries and Dufour
Yes.
and those guys, and make them the players that they need to be to move up to that level. And in case, God forbid, if one of these guys, one of our guys on the main club go down, that they come in and not only come in, but come in and not be intimidated and
Right.
not be afraid to do what they need to do. You could be inserted in and flow seamlessly.
Right. And let's not forget, you've got Hudson Fashing. You got Samuel Bolduc down there now. You do have Pierre involved. You've got guys who want to get back to the NHL. They're going to do everything they can to get themselves back up there. So they're going to show these kids what they really need to do to get to the NHL. Big time. Big time. But now you have, and again, I'll say this again. I have not seen Bridgeport this deep since the 2018-19 season.
Yep, it's
We're
been a while.
talking 5 years, folks. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming. Which is
And that's why we've been 30th. That's why we've been 30th or 31st in pipeline ranking.
Right. And that's,
even though we're 26th, I think we're better than that.
I think we're going to move up the rankings anyway as these kids finally develop, and we'll go from there. Chalowski. Is Chalowski trade bait or salary cap? I think he's here. I do too. I think he's here. He's a good replacement for Mike Riley at some point. If Chalowski has that two-way game, and again, we know for a fact from other scouts on Chalowski that it's very much ambition. It's that drive. How bad do you want to play in the NHL? What kind of a commitment are you really going to have? And that's what Chalowski, that's what's been holding him back. If Chalowski has any kind of a defensive game where he learns Patrick Waugh's system, well, he was kind of learning it last year, but if he picks up on it, I could see him taking over Mike Riley's spot in another year. But we'll see what happens. I don't know if he'll
Right. He's only what? He's 26, I believe, right?
He's 26.
Yeah.
Of course we are. And this is definitely one of those things. This is one of those times. All right. So we're going to get into water cooler talk. This is, folks, this is all for you. This is now your show. Why is everyone jumping off the ledge? Questions, comments, concerns. I don't understand it. We've been saying this in the preseason. This is going to be a weird season, especially in the beginning. You're looking at a minimum 20 games, 25 games, even 30 games before we can have any kind of a clear outlook on this season. This is not the same as it has been in a couple of years. Why is everyone just jumping the gun? Why do you think everyone's jumping the gun, or are you jumping the gun? You don't think blowing leads will be a problem this year? I don't think so.
No.
Granted, game one was a lot of rust. I saw a lot of rust. I saw a lot of shaking off that dust, a lot of rust in there. To your credit, Brian, if we struggle with St. Louis, Montreal, And Detroit, all right, we're gonna have a different conversation next week. There's no doubt about it. But I'm not jumping on that bandwagon and saying this is just like last year. That was a Lane Lambert game last year. On that game number one, and I don't think they took Utah seriously as serious as they should have.
Mhm.
And again, Chalowski on that second line, second power play. I agree with that as well. He's got a good shot. He's got a very good pass up the ice as well. He can get that puck out of the zone. He does that very well.
Yeah.
But we got to see what he does.
I just think it's going to be Riley's to lose at this point. And again,
I agree.
3 games. 3 games. There's going to be a chance where he's going to be a time where he's going to get a chance. It's just not, you just can't expect immediate changes right away. You've
Right.
got to let the team, you got to let the team simmer. You got to let them figure things out before you start doing changes. This is not the time to change.
Right. And again, Brian makes a great point here. Chalowski earned his way on the team, just like Slipikov
He did. He certainly did.
Slipikov and Chalowski earned it. And we're coming to a point here, folks, with this Islanders organization. We're finally having players who have to earn their spots. Gary, when was the last time we said that?
They're not anointed with it.
No.
If anybody my age or around there, they know the old commercial that John Houseman used to say for Smith Barney. You don't get that, you got to earn it. And you do. And that's exactly what you wanted. This camp, guys had to earn their spot. That's why Pierre didn't make it. Past years, he would have been there. And everybody would have been moaning and groaning about that. But he didn't earn his spot. And he's where he is because of that. And it doesn't matter whether you're making NHL minimum or $3 million a year as PRS. You don't make it, you don't play.
Agreed.
So don't blame Lou. Don't blame Matt. Don't blame coaching. Blame the player. He didn't bring his game to training camp.
Yeah. And I like this from Angie. I do. Last few seasons, they've made their biggest push to the playoffs the second half of the season. I want to see that change as well. I want to see a little more winning this first half. I don't want to see that NHL 500. I like to see a bigger push. I like to be a little more comfortable. 3rd, 4th place by Thanksgiving or Christmas. Obviously, it's going to be a little battle going uphill. We know that. But I agree with Angie here. I think we need to have a good distance between minimum 6th, 7th, and 8th. Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah. In regard to this, I think Bolduc is okay. It's just, as we said, Chalowski worked harder.
Yeah.
I saw it in the games, the preseason games. I don't think Bolduc's a bad player. I think he still needs a little more. He's not fully cooked. I think getting him 20 at this level of his career and this level of where he is, he needs to play 25 minutes a game. And I think if he does that, he'll get 25 in Bridgeport. He'll get to play all 3. He'll get to play all 3 zones. He'll get to do everything. He needs that. Because when he gets that, he was doing well in Bridgeport. Then he came back up here and he made some mistakes and he was getting typical number 6 defenseman time, which is, is 12, 13, 14 minutes. He's not getting everything done. So he's got to prove himself better than he has in the past. And he'll get that chance.
And again, something similar with Simon Holmstrom. I was hoping Samuel Bolduc was going to go down to Bridgeport last season, but I forgot he was not waivers exempt. And at that time, he was going to get claimed by somebody. This past season, he didn't put it all together, but he wasn't bad. This year, in my humble opinion, I think the Islanders got a little lucky with the timing of waiving Bolduc. But for me, he needs his time in Bridgeport. This is what I was hoping for him last season as well. So he got 40 games in the NHL. Great. I want to see him play this full season. That's and then we'll see what happens next season. Because I think you can let Mike Riley go, have Chalowski come in, and then have Samuel Bolduc as that seventh defenseman. And if anything else happens to Pulock or Mayfield, I don't think Bolduc is going to miss a beat next season at all. I don't think Bolduc is horrible. I just think he needs a little more seasoning. And I do think Bolduc will be up for the playoffs, folks. I think Enval will be, maybe Fashing. I think you can add Bolduc to that as well. Maybe even Grant Hutton. I don't know. We'll see what happens. A little too far down, but they're not far off.
No, Grant Hutton had a great camp.
Had a great camp.
In my opinion.
Great camp. Who's the first call up if the player's underachieving or injured? I gotta say Pierre Enval.
Yeah.
Cap
It would
wise.
be. It would be.
Cap wise, yeah. It's got to be a bad one. Fashing would be the other. Fashing would be the other. I mean, for cap purposes, it would definitely be Fashing. Defensively, probably Bolduc. You know, like I said, these guys are so close. They're on the edge. And this is a big one, Robin. If everyone earns their salary, we have a dream season. I agree with that.
Yep. And that's why you don't play the games on paper.
Right. Our plays in the option year should be put up great. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, guys. If people are literally nitpicking 2-3 games in,
2-0.
away from that. Get away from that. This is going to be such a weird first half of the season. Oh, all right. Looks like I'm not going to get murdered yet. This is going to be a very weird first half of the season, folks. This is not going to be something that, you know, you're going to be, hey, our team's going to be in the playoffs by Christmas. Or at least Thanksgiving. This is not the season for it. I've already had a couple of scouts tell me, you're right. This is going to take a little longer this season. But you can certainly eliminate teams. If they have a poor record, that's a good bet they're not going to be around. So it's really not so much who's in the playoff hunt, it's who's going to be eliminated in that first half, more importantly than ever, because it could be a mess. I mean, Gary, right now in the Western Conference, 6 out of the 16 teams have a winning percentage of 375 or worse. And some of them have already played 3 or 4 games.
Yep. Nashville, Edmonton. Yep.
Yeah.
And Nashville and Edmonton play each other tomorrow night.
Yeah. Folks, folks, this one, it's a hot mess. It is a hot mess. Right. 16 in, 16 out. Yes, Thomas, you're going to need patience for this season. There's no doubt. I'm
or a lot of bourbon.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
That too. So, I hate him. I just hate him. His team's 4-0 and he's never happy. His team's 4-0. Gonna block him just for fun. Man's never happy. Yeah. So, all right. Questions, comments, concerns. This show's for you guys. Are you jumping off the cliff yet? What do you want to see from the Islanders? All right, we've played 3 games. What do you want to see them? What do you want to see for through October? What are you looking for? Forget the record. What are you looking for that's going to keep you on a positive side here with this team? What do you want to see? Me personally, I want to see the fourth line. I want to see the fourth line come together. I still want to see a little more. I don't know if I want to call it heart out of Dobson, but believe it or not, I want to see. This is going to sound funny. I want to see a little more Romanov in Dobson, and I want to see a little more Dobson in Romanov.
I like that a lot.
Okay, that's what I really want to see. All right, I would really love to see Noah Dobson throw a check or a body to somebody every once in a while, and I would really like to see a little more offense coming out of Romanov.
He's
What do you
got
want to see?
he's got such a great shot, Paul. He
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
And it just gets languished. It gets out of the way.
You want to see that over 10 games? You want to see him do that every 10 games? Come on. That's just one game. He might be able to do that. But I get the captain statement. But I don't think the Islanders, along with the rest of this NHL, guys, they don't take it as seriously as we do. Yes, it's the start of the season. You want to get things going. But they know there's a solid 40 game grind in the middle of the season. It starts after Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, this is a league
Especially
that just paces themselves.
the games are going to be tight because you got the tournament in February, which you're going to miss 2.5 weeks. So everything's going to be pushed together. You got a lot of back-to-backs. You got a lot of 4 and 5s and 4 and 6s.
Sure.
So conditioning is going to be paramount.
Yes.
For teams. And you know that Waz history, he likes to make sure that his teams are conditioned well. And
Yes.
especially with grinds that's going to happen in December and January. You know, you got to be prepared and have 20 for 20 of your top guys out instead of having 4 or 5 injuries and doing the Bridgeport shuffle. You can't have that.
Right.
Teams can't have that. They do that, they're in trouble. You look come the middle of April and you see what teams had injury issues at any point during the season, and you're going to know who's on top and who's struggling and who's fighting to get a number 1 draft pick.
Right. And Randy, I'm going to agree with this. I said this last season. I really want to see. I want to see a little more Shea Weber out of Ryan Pullock.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I want to see the blast. I want to see that blast. It doesn't have to be 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, there was a couple of times in the Dallas game that I just looked and I'm like, you know, he was ripe for the smash, and it didn't happen. Colorado game too. There was a couple of instances in each game where he really could have fired it and just hesitated.
Yeah,
and you know that's your forte. That's what got you in the NHL.
Yeah.
You gotta use it.
Gotta shoot. Shoot. And when he did, he helped dominate those games when he scored and on those offensive numbers as well.
For sure.
Pullock, again, there he is in the back. He's still one of my favorite defensemen back in 2013, but like Holmstrom, shoot that puck. I need to see a little more Shea Weber out of him. This is it, Angie. Beautiful. Just stay healthy. Improve the defense. Sorokin cannot stand on his head every game. I agree with that. Give that a little more time. Give Tommy Abilene a little more time. You got to remember, folks, they just sent these kids down about a week and a half ago. The system is still in works. Excellent point, Brian. This is, for those of you who want to know where the Islanders are, this is a big game for me tomorrow. St. Louis is kind of like in the middle of the pack. They could be a playoff team. They may not be a playoff team, but the Islanders are on the road. If we lose 6-3, completely different conversation coming up next week. Completely different conversation. And you guys can rip on us as much as you want. It better not be like a 6-3, Doug Waite loss, or even a Lane Lambert loss. We don't want that. I don't want to see St. Louis coming back and win.
Yep, you got to make it a statement.
Absolutely. Montreal, don't. They're one of the youngest teams. Show Montreal that they're going to be one of the youngest teams. And then you got Detroit. Both Montreal and Detroit are going to be good Eastern Conference tests for the Islanders. All 3 games. Do I think they should win all 3? Yes. They should. Gordie Howe, Harry for Wallstrom, defining moment, maybe. Romanov nearly took off McKinnon's head last game. Missed the hit, but it reminds me of Kasperitis. Yes, but I don't want Romanov to be Kasperitis.
We want him to be Kasperitis and Molotov.
Yes. I need to see more of Malakoff than I do Kasperitis with Romanov, Jim. I
We
gotta
know he
see
can
more.
do it.
Go ahead.
We
Yeah.
know he can do it.
Yeah. I need to see Vladimir Malakoff more from Romanov than I do Kasperitis. Casper to the rafters. Maybe. I wouldn't mind that. What else we got? 4-2 Isles. Okay, very good. Yes, St. Louis is a comeback team year so far. It's a big test, and that's exactly what I said before. No doubt. I don't want St. Louis coming back. The Islander players have to find a way in themselves to grab a win. Romanov started doing that when he was, blocking the puck, diving the puck, and blocking all that. Yes, it's early in the season, but the more you win earlier on, the easier it is for these guys to get into the playoffs. And it's just like Angie said before, you don't want to be a second half team and then go try to get into the playoffs. Get this going now.
Right. But you don't freak out if they don't come out of the gate like that.
Right.
It's just like watching a horse in a derby.
Right.
If they're last coming out of the first eighth, doesn't mean they're automatically out.
Right.
Just take the things that you see that are good, have them continue to be good, and work on and improve the things that need to be improved upon.
Right. And Robin, I agree with this. Dobson is the Malakoff on that pair, which is why I said before, I need a little more Dobson in Romanoff, and I need a little more Romanoff in Dobson.
No question.
Yeah, I agree with that. We're not worried about the Flames. This is not a Flame show. Don't worry about the Flames. So listen, boys and girls, great show. The Mets are on. You got St. Louis tomorrow. Please don't jump off the railings here. Yes, the next three games, in my opinion, are big. St. Louis is an excellent test, but for me, I want to see how the Islanders respond to two teams that are, I don't want to say lesser, but the Islanders should be.
They're a more talented team than the other two.
Correct.
And you have to take advantage of those things and come out on top. Flat is not going to work.
Right. Can't do it.
Right.
So, listen, boys and girls, also real quick, these were made. We have Isles Talk mugs. If you guys are interested, haven't thought of a price yet, but we'll include shipping. We're going to post that up tomorrow. I'll take Venmo, or Gary can take Venmo, whatever payment you guys like. We only have 12. We're just getting that started. If you're interested in a mug, let us know. We'll take care of you. But
And don't forget about Christine St. Lou, too.
oh yeah. Christine, where is she? Don't forget Christine St. Lou. Promo code Isles Talk for 10% off ChristineSt.Lou.com. She helps us out with that too. If you're interested in a mug, listen, things have got a little expensive here. It's called inflation. Things happen. And StreamYard got a little expensive as well. But if you could help us out, that would be great. And also, if you're a sponsor, if you want to be a sponsor, if you have a company, you want to be a sponsor on the show, talk to Gary, talk to myself. We'll talk about it then. We got one
Yeah, we would love it.
coming up. Yeah, that's fine.
I wish we can do that, Paul.
Number 7 sippy cups. We could.
Being that's his nickname, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. We can come up,
Yeah.
again, we can do that. Right here. Start off with these first. If these do any well, we'll go on from sippy cups. That's fine. I know people. Joe knows people. Gary knows people. So that'll be up tomorrow. Let us know. And Gary, where can they find you?
Well, I'll be flying home tomorrow night, but at
Yes.
Isles Met 63. Yeah, definitely. Let us know if you're interested. If you want to do it, like I said, Paul's got Venmo, I got Venmo. We can definitely take care of it. Again, anything that helps, because I mean, not that we want money from everybody, but it does cost
No.
us out of our own pockets.
Yeah.
So anything to help out is definitely a good thing.
Yeah. And if we have a surplus, folks, we will donate that to whatever charity you want to vote for, or unless you want us to split it amongst, say, the Islanders Children's Foundation, Anders Lee, Matt Martin, whatever one. If we get a surplus, we'll let you know. We'll donate all of that by the end of the season. So we're not here for the
Absolutely.
money. We're
No.
just here to pay a few bills, and we'll be more than happy to donate. Um, to any of the local charities that you guys want. Shout out for the women in the game. My Annie's now in Jersey. All right. Shout out, ladies. So, again, folks, also, please spread the word on Isles Talk. Tell them to follow us on Facebook, on X. X now has premium. We just paid for that as well. So we're on X on premium. So we're going to be back on X starting next week. And please like and subscribe us on YouTube. Make sure you like those videos on YouTube. That would be big help for all of us, please. Yes, Gary, safe travels on the way back. Next Wednesday, we'll be here. If there's anything you want us to discuss, I'm all for it. I am still looking to get Patrick Williams on here from AHL.com. We're going to talk Bridgeport a little bit.
Oh, by the way, I'll just say it on now here. We will definitely have Andrew Gross back on in the next couple of weeks. You said he'll come on anytime with us.
Okay. Yep. So we're trying to get the guests all in, but it's the start of the season. A lot of them have been traveling, and again, we're only talking 3 games into the season. So once everything settles down a little bit, we got a longer home stretch. We're going to get all the people that we normally have on. They're all coming back. They all want to come back anyway. So, but before you do, make sure you like all of us on socials here, and make sure you hit that subscribe button on the Isles Talk on YouTube. It's greatly beneficial for all of us. And good luck, Mets.
Can I plug the
Let's go,
club? Can I
Mets.
plug the club?
Yes, absolutely.
Plug the trips? Yeah, definitely. Again, if any of you guys are interested, the Islanders Booster Club are doing a bunch of trips this season. We're doing Washington the day after Thanksgiving. We're doing Florida in February, and we're doing Jersey and Philly in April. If you are interested, you have to be a member of our club to go. I think we're trying to convince Paul to get to Washington, hopefully. But yeah, if you are interested, again, drop me a line on Twitter at IslesMet63. Send me a message, and we'll get some info out to you. And yeah, definitely. So if you want to come on the road and see the Islanders, hang out with us.
Beautiful.
Or just join the club.
Join the club. So, alrighty, boys and girls, enjoy your night. Enjoy the week. Gary, quick prediction: where are the Islanders going to do this week? You got 3 games.
I'm going to say 2-1.
Okay.
I don't know which one, but I have a feeling they'll be fine.
Okay. I'm gonna raise the bar here. I'm gonna go 3-0.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 3-0. I really want to see this team go 3-0. I want what the rest of these fans want to see now. I think it's time. It's time to break away early in the season and just go for it. So, alrighty, boys and girls. I think the Mets just scored.
No, they didn't. They just got out with the bases loaded.
Okay.
Crap.
Okay, boys and girls. We'll see you next week. Great show. Thank you. Let's go, Islanders.
Take